Hey, what is up guys? Jack and Matt here with the Toasty Bros, and today we're going to be doing a home theater slash gaming PC 2019 for $300.
You won't believe what we're using for this build. Let's get right into it, shall we? But first, a word from today's sponsor.
Do you need help with YouTube? Are you ready to take the next step and make your channel bigger? Alright, well listen up, I got just the thing for you. It's called TubeBuddy. It's an extension tailored for YouTube and it offers all kinds of tools. One of my favorite is the tag suggester, and another one of my favorite is the best time to upload feature. But that's only to name a few, so go check it out for yourself in the link down below.
So this build is going to be very different because it's based around a product that we've really never messed with before. This is the A10N-8800. This is an all-in-one combo, meaning that it has a soldered CPU on board and it's a Mini-ITX form factor. So that's kind of the basis of this whole build, is a Mini-ITX build. What makes this kind of interesting is its price. Now, pricing does vary because it's only available in really weird retailers right now, anywhere between $75 to about $90 with price conversion, but it does come on board with an FX processor. Now, before you say, FX, oh my goodness, it's old, why are you doing an FX build and why is there a new FX product? It's a very interesting FX SKU. It actually has some R7 graphics on board that are supposed to be capable to play games probably like 720p, 1080p low at decent settings. We're actually going to be testing that in this video. The CPU itself can handle an upgraded graphics card for about $100, making this an affordable home theater and upgradable PC.
What's also really weird about this motherboard is the fact that if I can get my hands on this, it takes DDR4 RAM, which you guys know FX processors were DDR3. Like Matt was saying, it's really weird. It's just, it takes a weird mix match of parts, and that's why it's kind of a newer thing because DDR4. And speaking of DDR4 RAM, we have this T-Force Delta from Team Group, and this is actually two 4 gig sticks equaling 8 gigs at 2400 megahertz of RGB. Yeah, we're gonna have some RGB inside of here, along with some RGB strip as well, so it's gonna perform well and it's gonna look great, you know?
Totally overkill, but it'll work. One thing to note actually is that this motherboard only supports up to 2133 memory, but our hope is that this will actually downclock to 2133, which most DDR4 memory will go down to 2133, its lowest speed, so fingers crossed that actually works.
And if it doesn't work, then you'll see us in different clothes and you won't know that it's actually the next day, but you probably will because we'll have different clothes on.
Yeah, good point.
So for storage, we kind of just had this laying around. This is a 120 gig M.2 SSD. So this is actually a Western Digital green M.2 drive, and you know, it's gonna work. And we just happen to have an M.2 on this, so you know, make it a little bit cleaner, one less cable to worry about. For the case, we have the R379-M from Rosewill. So Rosewill is one of the few companies that actually kind of does this, and it's kind of convenient that it comes with a power supply. And yeah, you guys are like, what builds come with power supplies? Well, weird Rosewill ones like this. A lot of their specialty builds will actually come with a really small power supply of some sort. They're very generic, they're not certified typically. You're saving a lot of money, and this is just like a home theater slash light gaming PC, so it'll work out perfect for that. And as Matt mentioned, we have this Gigabyte 1050 right here, which will just plop right in there. You can see we actually have the proper low profile brackets for it. This does not require any external power, which this probably doesn't have anyways, so it works out perfectly. I think that it'll actually be pretty decent for gaming, but only one way to find out. We gotta slap this thing together, see how it performs with the APU graphics, and then throw this in there and play some frickin' games on ultra settings.
I'm ready for it.
When the lights are out and you stumble in the dark, you kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me to get you, don't forget to get you, to get you, don't forget to get you, to get you, don't forget to get you, to get you, don't forget to get you. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind.
Alright guys, so first up, we have to test Apex Legends. Now, let's put this out of the way real quick. This is probably not going to perform very well. As you can tell on the loading menu, we're at 24 FPS. The GPUs in this APU are maxed out. It's like GPU modules, so if you're wondering why it says there are 6 GPUs, it's each individual module that's built into this onboard video that's on this CPU, so that's why it looks like that. But it's already maxing out at, well, 100% across the board, and we're only getting 24 FPS on all low settings, 1080p. Now keep in mind, we will probably do a test in the middle of the run, dropping it to 720p to show you what the performance is going to be like. But again, we're not expecting really good performance because something like Apex really requires a good dedicated graphics card, or at least a higher end APU, like something like a Ryzen 3 or Ryzen 5 2200G and 2400G. Alright guys, so here we are in the dropship running at a beautiful 11 FPS. Those frame times are so bad, upwards of 100 milliseconds. That shows the delay between those frame changes. It's really, really bad. So we're gonna drop in real quick. Probably should go to a hot drop location. I'm just gonna detour over here.
It's looking pretty good.
But yeah, we're at 12 FPS. Everything is maxed out right now. We're using about 6 gigs of RAM right now, which is kind of interesting too. There's 8 gigs in this PC, but landing in, it actually is getting a little bit better. We are getting about 28-ish FPS running around here. Mozambique ready to go. Now we're back down to 21. So it seems like that menu FPS was pretty accurate, and we did below 20. This is 720p, scaling not working properly. But it looks like we're at more of a solid 30, closer to 30-ish FPS. It feels much smoother. The frame times are down. I mean, feels like old school console gameplay, honestly, around 30-ish FPS. So I mean, it is playable on lower settings 720p. I don't know if I'd say it's optimal, but...
And also keep in mind, this monitor's not working the best. Normally it would scale it to be full screen still, but
yeah, there's something wrong with the scaler in this monitor. It just doesn't want to work properly.
It doesn't know the proper weight.
It doesn't know, dude. It has no idea. Alright guys, so the next game we're going to be testing is actually Brawlhalla, which is a really easy to run game at max settings, and we're kind of just showing you an example of something that would be really cool on a home theater PC. Brawlhalla is kind of like a Smash clone if you are familiar with Super Smash Bros. But it does have some benefits compared to Super Smash as being a very unique game style. But this actually has local couch play, so this could be a really cool home theater setup if you do decide to play something like this, because it really doesn't require all that much, and you can just set it up on a living room TV, queue up with a couple controllers plugged into this PC, and boom, for a really cheap price, you can have a little bit of a console that you can actually play some cool games on. But running around here, no frame drops, which is kind of to be expected. I didn't really expect to have any performance issues with this setup, because this game is, well, really easy to run, constant locked frame rate, no problems here. You can still run around and clap some people in this game, which is a lot of fun to do. But Brawlhalla is one of the games that Jackson and I and Zach have been playing a lot recently, and it's a good Smash alternative, considering Smash is, well, not on the PC. So Brawlhalla, smashing success so far. For some reason, my Riva tuner is not showing up in the top left corner, but as you can tell on screen, it is a flawless experience, no frame drops here, and honestly, I didn't expect anything less. Alright guys, and the last game we are going to be testing is CSGO. Again, we are testing games that would make sense to run on this system, and as you can tell, we are getting close to 60 FPS of CSGO, which is really nothing that impressive at 1080p. CSGO is a really easy game to run, but the fact that we get close to 60 FPS, sometimes dipping below 50, shows that it's a very respectable little tower. You could probably run the Half-Life, like Valve games really easily, over 60 FPS. You could dive into some older titles like Portal and stuff like that. This can play basic games. Just don't expect to queue in Fortnite and getting 144 FPS. If you run on this integrated CPU, it will do all right. But what we really want to see, and we kind of knew that this was going to be just an okay performer with its default stock integrated graphics, is how well it performs once we throw in a GTX 1050 low profile, which is a relatively common upgrade card for people who have, let's say, OEM towers or other small form factor builds and the fact that it's low profile makes it compatible. So what we're going to do after I possibly get another kill, which probably won't happen, is upgrade this system with a 1050 and then rerun the benchmarks on CSGO and Apex Legends to show you what performance difference there is. There's no reason to run it with Brawlhalla because it was locked at 60 FPS on Brawlhalla, and that's really all you can expect. And then give you a little bit of a recap as to what we think of this setup and if we should recommend it for you guys. Alright guys, so now that we have the 1050 installed, we're going to play Apex Legends on the exact same settings that we did before at 1080p. And we're going to see exactly what kind of frame rate we can get. Let me actually bump this up to, wait, what the hell? We're having some monitor issues and scaling, so it's actually running at like 1842 by 1036, which you're really not going to notice that big of a difference between that and 1080p, so ignore that. But this right here is Apex Legends, and right now on the menu, you can tell there is a massive difference so far, running at 144 FPS on the menu, still running those lower settings, which we still want to just get a good apples-to-apples comparison compared to the other system, which could get close to 60 FPS on these lower settings. But if this thing can stay well over 60 FPS, then we have a really awesome upgrade option for this little guy. Alright guys, so we're in the dropship right now, getting around 45-ish FPS. The GPU is maxed out and the CPU is maxed out, so there is not a clear bottleneck currently in this system. But as we do a hot drop real quick, we're going to go straight down. We're getting about 54, 56 FPS. It is definitely way more playable than the built-in video out on the CPU. That poor FX 8800P with its Radeon 7 graphics really just has no shot, as it just minimized real quick. No problem there. But as we're running around, we're getting 70, 85 FPS. This is more than playable. No problems here. Maybe if I can get a kill here, it's possible. But looting, no problems, no stutter. We hit 60 FPS just now, dipping a little bit below it. The frame rate is very sporadic, so we definitely will want to adjust some of the parameters to make it to where it's locked to 60 FPS to avoid this sort of stutter. But running around, I mean, I can't complain. Let's see if I can actually save my teammate real quick. Oh, I got you, dude. Yeah, what the fuck up, dude? I'm gonna thirst you, bitch. I thirsted him, dude. You thirsted my teammate? I'm gonna thirst you, dude. He didn't even give me the opportunity to thirst. But hey, look, I got a kill. PogChamp. Alright guys, so now we are back into CSGO, which actually doesn't have that big of a performance upgrade because I have a feeling it was very CPU bottlenecked because CSGO is very CPU dependent. We're getting around 70-ish, 80-ish FPS, well over 60 though this time around. Not nearly as big of a jump as it was in Apex Legends, but it is showing that this 1050 was still a solid upgrade, which I kind of expected after seeing the benchmark numbers on Apex Legends. Let's run into some gunfire real quick and see how the frame rate drops. The frame rate seems to dip down to about 50 in like high action situations, which is not bad in CSGO, especially when you're dead. It really doesn't matter what frame rate you're at because you're, well, dead. But you see, I can run around, shoot people with guns, get kills, pop off, dude, be a god, CSGO. Great gameplay. But overall, CSGO definitely was worth the upgrade to do the 1050. And I guess all we have to do now is do a little bit of a recap and see if this was actually worth considering.
So as you guys could see, this thing actually played games pretty well after we added that low profile 1050 in it. And to be honest, it's not terrible for the price. I mean, 300 bucks and you're able to play some games like Apex Legends and CSGO and a couple of kind of lower end, but you know, newer games, maybe lower some settings around and be able to actually play them. Definitely be able to watch some Netflix and some YouTube, home theater PC stuff.
Yeah, this could be a perfect PC, especially if you did find a smaller Mini-ITX case to put in like a living room, maybe in like a home theater setup. And you could play the games like Brawlhalla, which we showed, which has local co-op. If you just get controllers, boom, you're good to go. You can play in your living room. But yeah, this setup is perfect for that use case. It can be used for a slight gaming PC also. But overall, Jackson and I are pretty impressed. We want to give a big thanks to Biostar again for sending this cool piece of technology over here for us to mess around with at the Toasty Bros. And you want to wrap this video up real quick?
I think we're ready.
All right.
So if any of you guys, for some strange reason, want to replicate this exact build, parts in the description down below. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.